Everything Suspect Podcast. It's your boy Billy D. You know how we do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. How y'all been, man? There's been a lot of topics, right? But I just haven't felt the need or want to do anything about it. I need to take this thing a little bit more seriously. But Eboni K. Williams. I was told that I needed to do a podcast on her and her remarks that she made on The Breakfast Club when talking about who she wants to date or who she wants to be with. So let's let her have her word.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem.
So the reason why I also felt a good vibe about doing this podcast was because it made me think of a podcast I did before, and it was on Cam Newton. For those who don't remember, he caught flack for basically the same thing. He was given the opportunity to talk about who he wants to date, what he looks for in a wife, and it got met with a lot of flack. He caught a lot of drama. You know, it was an uproar for people. So when I hear what Eboni wants in her man, it kind of reminds me of what Cam said that he wanted. So before we go any further, let's play what Cam said.
A woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
All right, cool. So here's the thing. First things first, I think it's very, very, very dope that there is no double standard in this. It's dope that Cam can say what he wants. People find or take offense to it and get at him. And I'm happy that Eboni is able to say what she wants, catch flack for it. And, you know, she has to do the same thing. She has to go through the same process that Cam went through. But there's a huge difference between the two of them. And that is, you don't really, if you go back and research, you didn't really hear a whole lot about Cam apologizing or trying to explain or do, you know, hey man, you know, just forgive me. He didn't go on no apology tour. He didn't feel the need to clarify himself as much as Eboni. Why is that? And here's where I might catch some flack. Because I believe I know the difference. If you see Eboni's been trying to clarify and make it plain and let me rephrase it, let me do this. Now you got Dr. Umar like getting at her and everything else. The truth of the matter is this is affecting her bag. Cam saying that he wants a woman who can take care of her business, but also tend to his needs, didn't really feel the need to explain further. Because it's not, he's a football player. You know what I'm saying? He's the current, I think he's still podcasting, but it doesn't affect his bottom line. However, Eboni, being a Renaissance woman and she writes books and all of this stuff, if what she says can affect her bottom line, people won't buy her book. She could be done. So the biggest difference is, or the problem that I have is, Eboni is not sorry so much as she is worried. So let's dig into the societal parts of this, right? Because I really feel like this is a time when Eboni needs to double down, right? And why do I think that? I think that because Eboni is living the new black woman experience, or the one that black women would like to lead. We just saw Ciara. You got Beyonce out here, independent woman. You got Cardi B talking about all the things she talk about. All these women who are pushing this narrative of being by yourself and not needing no man are married. Eboni's not. Eboni is living. She is the example of what these women out here say they want, or what they want their life to be. So why shouldn't she lean into that? At the end of the day, this comes down to preference. And as a man of a certain age who's been through a few things, let me give some OG advice. When Cam spoke, Cam is talking like a man who wants to be married. When Eboni spoke, she's talking like a woman who wants to be single. Cam is saying, I grew up in a household where the father did this, the mother did that, and they still together because they understand the hierarchy. They know and accept that there is a double standard. And in our society today, we're acting as though the double standard does not exist, or is removed, or, you know what I'm saying, females have this glass ceiling and all that stuff. And look, every relationship is different, but there needs to be some structure in place, because I don't think it's a coincidence that the divorce rate keeps raising. And it feels like men still want the same thing they always wanted for 100 years. We still living out here like Fred Flintstone. We still want that. And women's wants and needs are changing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but now that it's changing, now you're seeing more and more divorce rates. So it's wild when you see a multi-million-dollar man, athlete, had it all handed to him. Well, he worked for it, but he got it all. Can have his pick of the litter. He still wants the rudimentary things that every man wants. He wants the same thing that I want in a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we are miles apart. You know what I'm saying? In status and money and tax brackets and, you know what I'm saying? All the things. Why is that? Meanwhile, we're upset because we have a woman who says that what it is that she wants, and she should be unapologetic. Why are we all getting upset about what another person wants? If Cam wants a woman who wants to tend to his needs, allow him to lead and handle her business, and that's not you, he's not talking to you. If Eboni wants a man who owns the bus company, she doesn't want a driver, then she's not talking to you. You're out of her league. There's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. And we should not attack these people because they're voicing their opinion. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but super random, wasn't Chris Rock's father a truck driver, like in real life? Not Terry Crews, like the real Chris Rock daddy. Was he not a truck driver or something like that, and stayed with his wife until death did him part, and had all kind of crazy, I had a ton of babies. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It just, when you want it, you want it. However, the difference between men and women is this, and this is for my maybe women can take some advice from this, but it's definitely for my men out there, especially that are dating or wanting to get into a serious relationship or are in a serious relationship. Here's what Eboni's doing, and this is what we have to be aware of. Fellas, pay attention when a woman is pricing herself out. What does that mean? When you have a woman like Eboni K. Williams who is saying, I need you to own the company, maybe that woman just don't want to be with you. So be sure that, you know what I'm saying, when a woman is telling you what she needs, that She's giving you something that's tangible, something that you can achieve, something that she wants out of you. Now, there's a thin line between pushing a man to achieve his goals and giving the man something so far beyond his realm he can't achieve. Because see, here's the thing. When a woman like Ebony says what she says, she's not saying she wants a man. In fact, she's saying the opposite. She's saying, I don't want a man. If you start here, you don't want a man. You know why? Because women who are in successful relationships and women who want to be in a successful relationship, they don't start here. Women who have messed up a good relationship or want to be in a good relationship and have gone through some things, what they want can be almost as primal as what a man wants. They want protection. They want to be provided for. They want to be heard. They want to be respected. They want to be loved. That's when you know a woman wants to be married. She wants to be with a man. She's tired of the street. She's tired of the club. She's tired of being whatever she was in the past, and she's ready to settle down. What she wants is very, very small. Very, very simple. Because she's been through it. But when you come in saying, I need to own, I need to be an entrepreneur, and that ain't my lane. I'm good at this. I'm not good at that, but I'm good at what I do. If that's not good enough for you, it's because you don't want a man to begin with. So I think what needs to happen is we all need to start being realistic about what we want. Because I believe when a woman like Ebony says what she says, she's saying she doesn't want a man. I believe on another Breakfast Club where she was the guest, she was talking about the process that she's going through to have a baby. And she's having a baby through a sperm donor. And she's going through the whole, and I could be wrong. But I could have swore I saw her on there before where she did that. So when you have a woman who says you need to be this or nothing, when you have a woman who says, who's going through a process of having a baby without a man, which means there's a great possibility that you bringing a child into this world, and just because you can care for it, he does not have a man in his life, his or her life. I believe all these things point to, ultimately, you don't want it. So that being said, I'm going to end with a question because I think this one's a very, very simple one. What's wrong with a person having a preference? Y'all tell me. Everything Suspect Podcast, man. Y'all chill.
Everything Suspect Podcast.